Well, hello and welcome. A very warm good evening and welcome to a very special program called Cricit Predicta on NewsX, powered by 1xBet. More than 1xBet, we've got a powerful set of people joining us today, and it's a special Saturday Super Bonanza. Today, two of India's cricket giants, Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Virat Kohli, will face off at the Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. It's a crucial match for both the Royal Challengers and the Chennai Super Kings, currently in the third place with 14 points from 13 matches, needs just one win to secure a playoff spot. Meanwhile, Bengaluru, with 12 points from 13 matches, must win decisively to keep their playoffs hopes alive. Historically, Chennai has the upper hand, but it doesn't matter on a Saturday when you play for the final playoffs. Winning 21 of the 32 encounters playing at home gives RCB a significant advantage. Yesterday, LSG defeated Mumbai Indians by 18 runs, and we are not going to go into the history and the details. Mumbai is out, their history, they've got the bad captain. This is the fans' verdict. They've got a worse coaching staff, and they've got the bad power play, stroke play. So we're not discussing Mumbai today. Let's go on to LSG. Posted 214 runs. Mumbai could only manage 196 for 6 in 20 overs. Now all eyes are on today's critical clash. RCB and CSK. What a better way to get and start off this evening than from the legendary coach himself, Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, Virat Kohli's coach. We also have another coach in the house, which is Stanley Chiozza, the coach of the Zimbabwean cricket team, the bowling coach. Titinda Ziambe, the man who gets all the stats and everything put together. Paul Ronique Dinette, the cricket podcaster from Australia. He's got amazing stats for himself. We'll start off with Paul Dinette and get Mr. Rajkumar Sharma in the second question. Paul Dinette, we were making an off-air an observation about Virat Kohli. Yes, this seems to be like a Virat Kohli fan group, but that's not the case. Virat Kohli, in the first half of IPL, has scored in a different trajectory as compared to the second half. Just throw some lights and we'll get Mr. Rajkumar Sharma in an all-important game today. Go on.
Yeah, well, after the first 6 games, Virat Kohli's strike rate was 142. Pretty good for a normal IPL, not this one. His strike rate in the power play was 131. Then, in the second seven games, his strike rate has gone up to 170 overall and 193 in the power play. There's been other factors than just Virat, but I looked at my notes this morning from the 2nd of May where I'd taken a screen cap of the odds. RCB 150 to 1 to win the IPL. Gone, season over, no chance. And here they are. And I think Virat Kohli, to the fact that he has not reinvented himself because he was already playing well, but he's brought out the shots that we haven't seen for a while. He has played expansively. And as an Australian fan used to Virat Kohli being too good for us, it's kind of starting to get me a bit nervous about the World Cup. So RCB, one good win away from potentially making the finals.
Potentially making a finals. That's a big thing. A team that was written off, and I think Atul Vasan, who's just joined us, took great pleasure in being a forward short leg fielder to Mr. Rajkumar Sharma. Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, welcome to the show. What's going on with Virat Kohli's mind? Is he playing with his critics' mind and he's trying to... I mean, this is an absolute turnover from a team, from a player who was written off by critics, and you had a very sharp reaction to that. Now just tell us what's happening in Virat Kohli's mind. What is he doing? What is he talking to you, sir?
No, he's enjoying, Sunil. He's enjoying, and he's lifting the morale of the whole team. The team has got the momentum now, and a lot of credit must go to Virat for that, because the way he has scored runs, and the way he has lifted the spirits of the team, that has been tremendous. His positive energy has passed on to all his teammates, and that has shown on the ground also. So I think today also, if he is able to contribute or he is able to get a good start, I think RCB has got a very good chance to move to the playoffs.
Absolutely, move to the playoffs. What happens? Stanley Chiozza, the man himself, who's the coach. If you were to get into a situation where you just depended on one man RP, who would that be in the world? Would it be Virat Kohli or would it be Sir Viv Richards?
Okay, I didn't know I was on the show to be asked some of the very toughest questions in world cricket, but I suppose at the moment, look, Virat Kohli isn't song. But I remember early in the show, I once mentioned that Virat Kohli needs to be selfish. And the response that I kind of got was that, no, Virat Kohli is a team player. What I meant, Virat Kohli needed to be selfish in the sense that he needs to realize he's the man in form. And he's realized that. And being selfish means he just needs to take that responsibility a little further. And that's exactly what he's done. He's realized that he needs to score runs a little bit in the power play. He's increased the scoring rate in the last half. He needs to realize that. He needs to go through that middle period, punch more a bit because he's losing batsmen around him. He's done that. And I'll tell you what, scoring over 500 to 600 runs is no easy feat, especially when you're carrying the team alone. And Virat Kohli has been brilliant for RCB this season.
Well, if Atul Vasan, the great fast bowler from Delhi, who's played for India, has joined us. Atul, welcome to the show. You're looking bright, cheerful. Can I ask you a curveball question? Yes, I will. Atul, if you were to have a conversation today with Virat Kohli, we know you haven't had any conversation with him for the last few years. If you were to pick up a phone and talk to Virat Kohli, what would be your first 3 sentences?
Well done, and this is how you actually, it's his brilliance actually, and probably the team has not supported. Many things have gone wrong, but from where they were and where they are, hats off to them, because and I said they will not win for many reasons, but in spite of that, if they've reached here, and you never know, from here on it's anybody's game, and no team is that bad that they will be like wooden spooners from the word go. But look where Chennai was and where they are today. So we thought Chennai is a sure shot for the power.
I'll come back to the question, Atul. First 3 sentences, you're going to pick up the phone and talk to Virat Kohli. What would they be? At the end of the IPL season, we've been very harsh on them throughout the world, all of us. That's our job. But today, if you were to talk to him, what would you talk to him?
I would just say that listen to your coach and get some tips for today's innings.
When was the last you spoke to him?
No, but it's pointless because I think he's the guy who actually can take the team over because he's driven, he's overzealous, and that sometimes some members of the team get left behind and they get threatened and overwhelmed. But in this case, if anybody is the X factor who can take them through, in spite of whatever has happened, is Virat Kohli, because he's the one who can gel everybody together and make them actually believe that it is doable.
Absolutely. We've got one player who's doing a great job, but at the same time, we've got another decorated player who's flopped miserably. He's like, I don't know what to call him. I think he's the greatest disaster when it comes to IPL as the foreign export. Let's talk to his countryman, Paul Dinette. We're talking about Glenn Maxwell, the man who scores 200 runs at will, is suddenly a pauper today. Talk about it.
Oh, ye of little faith, Sunil. He's going to come back into the side today by all accounts. It's a big game for Glenn Maxwell because he needs to do something or he might not.
How many runs has he scored in the entire IPL this season? Let's talk about that. How many times has he gotten out?
All right, here's his scores.
Yeah.
His third game, he got a 28, and around that, 0-3, 0-1, 0-4. So he scored 36 off 37, an average of 5.1, a strike rate of 97.2. I've sometimes said he should be the Prime Minister of Australia, so I'm still a believer. I'm backing him to come back into the side today, and as long as the rain stays away, you watch it, Glenn Maxwell is going to be a decisive player.
He's not going to reveal much about Glenn Maxwell. Just talk about brutal figures, because we've taken on this show, we've taken Rohit Sharma, we've taken Hardik Pandya, we've taken Virat Kohli also head on. Now it's time to talk about a legendary Aussie who doesn't perform.
No, I think Paul actually succinctly probably said all the statistics you need to hear. So I think it is right to cast the light on him and say that, okay, where have you been? The figures that you have been performing are not quite good enough.
36 runs?
Yes. However,
in the entire IPL, and rest of them are pin code. So putting it in the dock, let me ask the final question to Paul Dinette on Maxwell, and then we're going to come back to him over again. Paul Dinette, in your own style, would you admit that Glenn Maxwell, with his scoring today in this match, in this IPL, is the worst IPL export or import from Australia or from anywhere in the world to this part of the IPL division? Go on.
I will admit no such thing. I mean, his bowling's been very good. He hasn't been given enough of a bowl.
How many overs has he bowled?
Not many, about 12. But they've been 12 good overs if that's how many he's bowled. No, look, it's been very disappointing, but he has done this in the past. He has gone in waves, and I think he's just so naturally talented. Someone needs to say to him, Glenn, be selfish because you're actually being selfless.
Or you picked up Stanley Chiodza's line, be selfish. We're not going to get into that argument. He's saving. And Aussie always comes in for attack. He's like David Boone and Jeff Marsh. Kind of a thing. Atul Vasan, when you look at Sunil Narayan, do you think you must pick up a page or a template from there? When he comes to perform for your franchisee, he's a man on fire. And when Glenn Maxwell does it, in your style, how would you describe that?
Well, Glenn Maxwell is a freak, so I'll never count him out. Probably it's dangerous for everybody in the World Cup because he's saving up for the best. And law of averages says that, he might just give a freak show any given day, and could be today.
Absolutely. Rajkumar Sharma ji, in some stage form or at some forum, Virat Kohli did admit that he's scoring runs of some unorthodox shots. Bhaiya, aapne usko sikhaya kab? Kab se he started hitting the slog sweep against the turn? Did you approve of it in the coaching manual?
No, it has never been his game, but one has to improvise, and it is very, very competitive, Sunil. Now these days, one has to play these type of shots. So I don't teach him like he is a legend now. What would I teach him now? I can only talk to him. I can just tell him that what is good for him. But he started, and he practices very hard for those shots. Nothing as if he just go and play those shots. He's practiced for those shots as if you remember when Lion has, Lion was bowling at his leg stump in Australia. He started sweeping him. So that way, he's the great players, changes their game, and that is what Virat is also trying to do, playing few new shots so that he's not predictable,
Playing few shots. Tell us something that we don't know. We've always got to know something or the other. When you've criticized his critics, you've defended him like a wall, like a guardian, like a father. Now today, tell us, for the sake of fans, what is going in Virat Kohli's mind today? How is he doing? Tell us something that we don't know. Fans want to know that.
Sunil, he is very positive. As always, he's he's got a lot of self-belief, and he's upbeat, and he's saying that he's in a very comfortable zone, and he feels that he's going to do it today.
Chaliye sir, Atul on this show has admitted that he hasn't spoken to Virat Kohli for a long, long time. Now, according to you, what has he when was the last time he spoke to you? And any good things for the fan that you can assure us?
We talk, generally we talk in a day or two, always we talk, and he's pretty happy the way he's playing, and he's looking very positive, and he's taking the team along. So, he's, that hunger is always there with him, and that is what...
Is World Cup playing on his mind, sir? Is World Cup preparation also playing in his mind somewhere at the backdrop?
No, not really.
Okay.
He just takes match by match. He takes one match at one time. And yes, World Cup is a big thing for him also. He would prepare hard for that also. But he is very good, positive that since he is playing so well here and he is middling the ball, so that is the best thing he wants to, that I'm betting well. Getting runs is not a problem for him as long as he is fresh and he's in a positive frame of mind and playing well.
Absolutely.
Which both the things are happening, and that is why he's upbeat for the World Cup also.
Absolutely, but he hasn't spoken about the World Cup. He's taking one match at a time. Stanley Chiodza, we've spoken about RCB, from where this team absolutely came like a phoenix. In fact, they have a stray chance of even qualifying if they win by a huge margin. I mean, did you see it? You've been on our show since day one. Did you expect this to happen ever, that they will come back? And also, the second question is on MS Dhoni. What do you make of the entire huge enigma? Because according to Mike Hussey, he may still be playing for CSK next year.
Well, to be honest, look, I think For a very long time, I thought the RCB were dead and buried. However, look, you never say never, or you never quit until the tournament has ended, and that's exactly what they've done. It's just a little tinker and perhaps a change in mental thoughts and mental attitude, and here we are. RCB are fighting for a spot which we never thought possible.
Absolutely.
However, talking about Mahendra Singh Dhoni, look, obviously there's been talk, there's been the chat with his batting coach, Michael Hussey. For me, the only time that I know that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is retiring is when I hear the words from himself, the man himself. Until then, this man is available, and I'm sure he's probably going to be the first one on that team sheet. And but I'd like to take away the big picture of Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Virat Kohli and put it on their captain.
Yes.
The captain, Richard Gaikwad, has been brilliant. I mean, he's come into a picture, into a spot that was very difficult. And a lot of people wouldn't have thought he would have been able to take the Chennai Super Kings to where they are today. Yes, there's been a bit of lack of consistency, but hey, the man has been unfortunate as well. Losing 11 out of 13 tosses, losing some of his premier fast bowlers due to injuries and national duty. And yet he is in a life-changing position. If he leads the Chennai Super Kings over the RCB, what a moment this would be for Richard Gaikwad.
Paul Tennant, our colleague from Australia. Paul, what do you make of MS Dhoni, the enigma? I mean, we've got some legendary people on our screen right now. What do you have to talk about another legendary player who's playing the match today?
It's just incredible. I didn't quite appreciate just how much the love for MS Dhoni was, but here, that's all that anyone wants to talk about. And I think he should go around again. I mean, that game that they played at the Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad a week or two back, and I was watching it, I was thinking maybe they'll get about 30,000. They got 90,000 people to the game because they wanted to see MS Dhoni. So, the IPL is the biggest league going around. It doesn't need MS Dhoni to be successful, but I tell you what, it certainly helps. If I was in charge of the IPL, I'd be saying to him, would you like to go around for another year? Because we would love to have these huge crowds once again. And I think as much as there is love for Kohli, at the moment, the country's sort of uniting behind MS Dhoni.
Absolutely. But what do you make between the lines of Mike Hussey's statement?
I think that Mike Hussey's in the dark, and I think everyone's in the dark because Dhoni does what Dhoni wants to do. One thing that's interesting is that he has been battling some injuries, a knee injury, and he has been batting incredibly well. So maybe when it comes time to the next auction, if his knee's fine, he might say, yep, let's go around again.
Tachinda, what are the statistics of MS Dhoni in today's context of IPL?
Okay, so I think the key here is his strike rate. Now, he has got the highest strike rate in the team, and this is his highest strike rate for the last 4 seasons, 226.67. Now, obviously, a lot is to do with the fact that he's coming in as a finisher. Obviously, he hasn't had a lot of outs, but I think that is the thing we were talking about off air. He's playing at a level that he could probably be playing much higher up the order, but I guess obviously due to his age and also trying to conserve him as well, that's why he's coming on as a finisher. And I kind of almost agree with Paul, but my only thing with Dhoni would be, if we watch Batman, you can either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I want to see MS Dhoni to walk away whilst he's still on top. It would be great if he walks away with the title.
That's a very emotional way of you saying it. I'll rope in Mr.
Yes.
Rajkumar Sharma. Mr. Sharma, you've seen both. I mean, today your heart is with RCB, like millions of other fans. But what is one word you describe about MS Dhoni? This could be his final match for the season for IPL. What are your memories of?
I think Sunil, he has got a big impact on Chennai Super King, and he's a great crowd puller. He has got a lot of fans, and everybody would be praying that it should not be his last game. And maybe you can see him playing one more year. And I'm also very sure that he'll play next year also for Chennai Super King. And the way he contributes on the field is just marvelous. The way he handles the things, and he's a big help to Rituraj Gaikwad when the things are not going their way. He controls the situation, and that is very, very important for Chennai Super Kings.
Sir, you made a very interesting point. In fact, it's like a breaking news that MS Dhoni, according to you, is fit enough to play another year. Well, that's important, but at the same time, do you think, in all possibility, do you think he should at least go as a mentor with the Indian team, if there is mentorship in IPL, do you think for the World Cup? Because he understands the T20 game better than anybody else in the world. Is it right to say that?
I think the thing about him...
Yes, go on. Go on,
You're
Mr.
asking
Sharma.
me?
Yes, Mr. Sharma.
No, I think we tried this, they tried with him in the World Cup and it failed badly. So I think let the coach and the captain lead the team and decide the strategy, because then it becomes very complicated that 3-4 people forming that strategy. It becomes really difficult for team to understand what is to be done and what is the strategy and how to execute it.
So it's a foregone conclusion. So we are not asking is it RCB you're supporting or CSK, but tell us who's going to stand in RCB and make himself counted today.
I think apart from Virat, I'm very happy with the way Rajat Patidar is playing. He's playing really very well, and I'm sure Maxwell or Green, either of them will also contribute, because they are due for runs, and it is a big match, and they are both big match players, and I think they are going to really come to the party today.
Great. It's RCB when it comes to Mr. Rajkumar Sharma. Stanley Chiozza, who's going to win the match today? Why? Who's going to be the impact player? We're running just 50 seconds for our show. Go on.
I think it's going to come down to which team plays spin better. I think the Seamers are pretty much even Stevens, but the CSK have a much better spinning unit so I think I'll root my name behind the CSK.
Absolutely. Tatinda.
I'm going to go with CSK. I think at this point in time, the permutations for RCB, they're going to be playing on their mind.
Absolutely. Permutation combinations are important. Paul Jeanette.
I'm going to make a tip that's almost impossible, but I'm going to tip RCB to win, but not by enough to get into the finals. So they're going to win by 18 or with 11 balls to spare. I'm going to say heartbreakingly, they'll win, but not by quite enough.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.